Hi everybody! How is everyone doing today? I hope you're doing great. I have a really fun topic for you today, and that is overcoming objections. Wah, wah. Yeah, not the most fun topic to talk about, but it's a reality and something that we're all going to deal with as we continue our Beachbody coaching journeys. So today I just wanted to share with you some of my favorite tips for dealing with objections. And objections are like people. They come in all shapes and sizes. We're going to deal with all of them, from the little tiny ones to the big ones that require a little bit more dialogue and discussion. But the tools that we have to deal with those objections actually are universal. They work great with all of the different types. So I don't want to share with you today very specific examples of how to deal with different objections. Instead, I want to give you some tools that I have found very helpful in dealing with objections, and I think that you'll find that the tools are universal, that they work great with everything you're gonna come in contact with. So and then at the end I'm gonna share with you a Beachbody document, something additional that will help you with specific things if you need it. But first off, I just want to summarize some of the objections that you will likely come in contact with. If you're a new coach, you may have not had any objections yet, or you may just haven't even shared this opportunity or these products with very many people yet. And so I just want to give you a summary of some things that you will likely come across at some point. Okay. So as you can imagine, price is a big one. People look at this big investment and they just see dollar signs, and sometimes they don't quite know the value that they're getting yet. Okay, so they think, oh, $140 or $160, that's a lot of money, and it is. That is a big investment, but they don't know yet how valuable that is, and that really, for what that $140 can bring to your life, it's really not that big of an investment. So price is going to be a huge one. In addition, you're probably going to hear lots of objections dealing with people who have tried things that are similar in the past and that they didn't work, whether that be a fitness program that they tried and didn't succeed at, or a shake or some kind of similar supplement product that they tried and either didn't like the taste of it, or it didn't give them the weight loss that they were hoping for. These are very common objections that you're going to hear quite a bit. Also, I hear a lot that my life's just too busy. I don't have time to add exercise in. I don't have time to prepare healthy foods. Okay, so that's going to be a big one you're going to hear a lot. And then I think another one that I hear quite often is just that people are concerned that they are too far from their goal to even start. So that might mean like, I have too much weight to lose, or I'm too overweight to even do these workouts. And these are all really valid objections. These are things that you and me and everyone else probably thought about at some point before we decided to jump in and try this stuff out. So let's think through how we want to deal with these objections in a way that is sympathetic and empathetic, and that will help people to see that these products are incredibly valuable. And quite honestly, I haven't met a single person yet who I don't think is a good candidate for a Beachbody program. So I think these are great products for everyone, and I think we can overcome every objection out there together. All right, so the first key that I want to share with you is that, in my opinion, the best way to start when you're dealing with an objection is to ask questions for additional clarification. So if you invite someone to your challenge group and their immediate response is, oh, I already know about that, it's way too expensive, I can't invest that much money in it, the first question would be, oh, that's great, you've heard about our programs before, like, which programs have you heard about? And what price information was shared with you? Because we don't know where people are coming from. Like, do they just hear through the grapevine? Like, do they know that there's promotional prices available? We don't know where they're at. So don't assume that you know where somebody's objection is coming from, because to tell you the truth, They could be saying like it's price, but in reality, price is not the issue. There's like deeper things that they're worried about. So the more questions that you ask, the more you'll fully understand what's holding them back. If you hear the objection of, I'm too out of shape, or I've tried programs like this before and I failed at them. You need to know, what have they tried before? Did they have support from others? Was the program comprehensive? Did they have, support from the fitness and the nutrition side? We need to know the specifics of where they are coming from. So always, when you're faced with an objection, ask a question. Don't try to answer or solve their objection immediately, okay? In fact, I sometimes feel like that can come across as disrespectful. When someone says to me, if I say to someone, I'm too busy, and someone responds to me, oh, you're not too busy. You can make 30 minutes of, you can make it work in 30 minutes a day. Like, what are you doing from 8 to 9? You can fit it in there. That's not a great way to deal with an objection, okay? Ask questions. There's really no better way to show respect and genuine care for someone than just to ask more questions. Asking questions shows that you are invested in someone's success, and that you want to know all the details behind what hasn't worked in the past, because you're that committed to helping them be successful now. All right, so ask a lot of questions. Your delivery and the way that you respond to these things is going to, and your intent is going to mean so much more than the technique that you use, okay? So Beachbody shares all sorts of techniques on, like, okay, here's a price objection, here's what you should say. Or here is a taste objection to Shakeology, here's what you should say. And those techniques are great, and I'm going to share with you where to find those techniques. But the truth is that your intent is going to mean so much more than the technique that you use to share that, okay? So come across as authentic. Share your personal experience and ask genuine questions, and that's going to come across meaning so much more than these, this technique. Okay. So with all that being said, the number one strategy that I use in dealing with objections is what we refer to as feel, felt, found. Okay, and so this really applies to pretty much any objection in the book. And if you're like me, then you have already dealt with a lot of these things personally, these objections, and so it's real easy to speak from the heart on where you came from and where you're at now. So the idea behind feel, felt, found is first to say, I know how you feel, okay? It's just a simple statement. I know how you feel. It's just showing empathy. You're not trying to solve their problem right off the bat. You're saying, I know how you feel. They're saying, it's too expensive. And you're saying, oh, I know how you feel. And they're saying, I'm too busy. And you're like, oh, I know how you feel. I'm busy too. Okay, so empathize with them. Make sure that they know that you know how that feels, okay? And then we're moving on to felt. I felt the same way. I always felt like there was no way I could fit 30 minutes of exercise into my day. I always felt like there's no way I could squeeze an extra $130 a month into my budget. I always felt that shakes just weren't a good fit for me. I felt like I wanted to eat real food. Okay, so explain to them that you know how they feel, you felt the same way. Or if you've never experienced that and you haven't felt the same way, I have a good friend who felt the same way. Okay, so I don't want you to lie. I want you to be honest, but chances are you do know somebody who has felt that same way. So feel, felt, and then the last part is found. So I know how you feel. I felt the same way. What I have found is whatever, okay? So for instance, for me, price is a huge thing. And quite honestly, when I started buying Shakeology, I was really concerned with the price. I loved the product, but I thought, how am I going to spend $130 a month on something like this? Well, I can easily empathize with people on that. I know how you feel. I felt the same way. I thought, there's no way I can fit this into my budget. What I found, though, is that when my husband and I went through our monthly budget, what our plan was to reduce our budget on eating out, because we knew that if we were going to really make a healthy lifestyle change, that cooking at home and not eating out was going to be part of our lifestyle change. So we moved the money from our restaurant budget to our Shakeology budget. And quite honestly, we're saving money now because our restaurant budget was huge, because we love to eat out and drink wine and all those wonderful things. So now we are drinking Shakeology, both of us, and we're saving money, quite honestly. Okay, so there are all different ways, and once again, that is just my story. You're going to have your own. You should share your personal story. There's no script that is used for these things. It's the technique. Feel, felt, found. People need to understand that you know how they feel, that you empathize with them, and that you understand their situation. And you can tell them, this is what I found. This is how I overcame that, or this is what worked for me. The same goes for, being busy, taste objections. I know how you feel. I tasted the stevia in Shakeology when I first started drinking it too. What I found, though, was that when I add half a banana, I don't even notice that flavor that I didn't like at first. And quite honestly, I love the flavor now. So there's all different types of responses, and it depends on what you've been through personally and what you've experienced, but the strategy remains universal. Okay, so the keys here are, when you hear an objection, ask lots of questions. Get all the details before you attempt to solve any sort of problem. Once you ask all the questions and you feel like you have a really good handle on what the objection is, use the feel, felt, found strategy to overcome the objection. All right, I hope this helps. If you are interested in seeing some specific objections and how Beachbody recommends dealing with them, go out to your team beachbody.com online office, go all the way down to the bottom of the page, and there's a little tiny button that says FAQ. Click on the FAQ button and type in the words, how to overcome objections, and Beachbody will pop a guide on how to deal with objections. And it's a great guide. It's very specific on different types of objections and how you can deal with them. And that might give you some additional ideas as well. But I hope this helps. We can do a little bit of role play if it would be helpful. Just let me know how I can help and what objections you come up with, and we'll work through them together. All right, have a great day. Talk to you soon.